Bring back the rom-com. It's all the drama in the superhero movies, and I love a good rom-com.
Me too.
Yeah.
You're right. There hasn't been any.
Welcome to Holiday Film Countdown. I'm Jamie Walter, and today we are going to New Orleans.
That's right. This film is Last Holiday, our 36th ranked holiday film. Hello, I'm Tim Walter. You can't take it with you, but you can take it to Hotel Poop.
Our first guest is Sally Grogogno. Hello, Sally. Please let us know what you're drinking and give us a quick thought on Last Holiday.
I'm drinking Gin and Tonic, and I thought it was a really cute movie. Warm fuzzy.
Yep.
And our other guest is Ann Hallead. Hi, Ann. What are you drinking? What's your initial thought on the film?
So I'm also drinking Gin and Tonic, which was our mother's favorite, in honor of her. And I thought the film was a feel-good holiday classic. I absolutely loved it.
Great. Good to hear.
And I thought, why not keep the tribute, should I say, to Sally and Ann's mom? And I am drinking a Gin and Tonic as well. And I will have to say, the first time I saw this film, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
All right, and I'm also doing the same. The gin we're using is Waterloo No. 9 local, and it's delicious. And we've used it before with our martinis in an earlier episode, Holiday Affair. I think it was very enjoyable. I liked the down home for us. We got some New Orleans people here. And it's ranked in the countdown where it is because it's a letterbox climber. When we first looked at it months ago, it was a 3.4, which kind of caught me off guard because that's pretty high. But now it's a 3.5. And so here it is.
Last Holiday was directed by Wayne Wang. Yes, that's right. He is also known for directing the Joy Luck Club and Made in Manhattan. It is a remake of the 1950s film of the same name, originally written by J.B. Presley.
All right, and this version of Last Holiday was released in 2006. An earlier remake of the 1950 original was planned in 1994, and it was set to star John Candy, but then he died that year. It was filmed in New Orleans and in the Czech Republic, and it was made the same year as another classic very popular amongst our guests so far, The Holiday. Queen Latifah is the main star, with LL Cool J and Timothy Hutton also playing major parts.
So that's interesting. What role was John Candy going to play?
So in the original, it was a man who was diagnosed.
He was going to be the one diagnosed. Okay. I didn't realize that.
I just learned that today.
All right. All right, Sally, do you have any history with Last Holiday? Have you seen it before? Is this your first time?
No, first time.
All right, first time.
All right, and Anne, what is your history with this film?
I haven't seen it before, but it was sort of that classic romantic comedy type movie. Kind of actually doesn't surprise me that this director did the Made in Manhattan movie because it's a similar vein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it one other time just for the podcast, honestly, and I'm kind of a sucker for the good classic love story. That's why I think I was pleasantly surprised with it.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it until we were researching, and it kept coming up. And I'm like, what is this? Filmed in New Orleans?
Had to check it out.
Yeah, that was the time when there were a lot of films being made in Louisiana. They tend to chase the tax credits. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last 10 years, it's been Georgia. Mm-hmm. But there was a run there where a lot of films were made in New Orleans.
There wasn't a whole lot of New Orleans.
No, just those exterior shots. I don't know about that department store. But I think the department store was in New Orleans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's check out the trailer.
Good morning, Miss Bird.
Mr. Williams.
Georgia Bird.
You need to get out of these frumpy clothes.
Has always done the safe thing. I suggest you get with the program. But that's about to change.
What? Remember you said life was too short to live the way I do? I quit.
This January,
They will have to see the work.
she's doing everything.
I'm going base jumping tomorrow.
Queen Latifah.
I've been waiting my whole life to do something like this. Wait, I gotta use the bathroom.
Last Holiday. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 3rd.
Well, I feel like the trailer did exactly what it was supposed to do. It gave all the funny scenes and kind of highlighted the movie. And I think from watching the trailer, it looks like a movie that I would want to see. What do you
Same.
think, Sally?
Same. But I always worry they show me too much of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
But
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Was the scene where she was on the snowboard, did she land on the table? Okay, I couldn't remember if that was in the movie or not. I don't know why.
yeah, no, she did.
I was like,
Yeah.
wait, did we see that? Okay. All right.
Did it make you want to see that, Anna?
Yeah, if I had seen that trailer, I would want to see that movie. I'm like scrolling through Netflix. I thought it was really cute, but I agree with Sally that that was like kind of gave every little scene flag summarized and showed them even getting together at the end. So almost a little bit of a spoiler if you saw that trailer,
Just wanted a little less.
maybe.
Yeah, on the romance side. And what's her health outcome? We didn't find that out, right, from the trailer?
No.
No, at least didn't.
No,
Yeah.
I was glad they didn't. I mean, you got to leave a little something, right?
Right. Yeah.
Leave them hanging.
That's right.
Okay, let's go inside the numbers. It cost $45 million to make this film. I don't know how. That's a nice hotel. A lot of travel, but seems like a high number.
Well, it was 2006. It seems like a very high number for 2006. Or is that today's numbers?
That's that number then.
Oh,
Not
really?
adjusted. Yep.
That
Wow.
seems really high to me.
I know. I mean, this isn't like
Because it wasn't.
A-list talent.
No, and it wasn't fancy.
No CGI.
I guess the hotel was
The
fancy.
hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they had to rent the whole hotel for a month.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I
I
mean,
don't know how that part worked.
Yeah.
All right.
Helicopter. There was a helicopter ride. Just teasing.
And then it grossed $39 million at the U.S. box office and another $5 million internationally. So the worldwide total was $44 million. So about break even against
Wow.
that $45 million cost. It just came in even. And sometimes they're happy to break even. Last Holiday has a score of 3.5 on Letterboxd. And we'll all give our own reviews and scores later.
I think it was probably hard for them to make a profit because it cost so much to make.
Yeah,
Right.
none of us had heard of it before, so obviously it didn't hit big time.
I'm not familiar with the first 14 films that you reviewed, but is that in line with how much those were for like comparable holiday films?
It's a little higher. I'd say the average is probably 25 to 30 million.
Right.
You're talking minimum of 15 just to do anything,
Yeah.
and then some have gone 100 million. Not even great movies. Anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes just the star power alone, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
obviously this one,
Yeah, sometimes they have a $20 million cast
mhm,
just right out of the box. So
right. Okay, well, let's talk about the decorations. There wasn't a whole lot of Christmas decorations, right?
Yeah,
Did you feel that way?
I feel like I didn't see any, except on her mantle or something. There was something on a mantle one time, I think. But
It was in the hotel. There
In
were
the hotel.
Christmas trees and things,
Okay.
but not in the scenes in New Orleans. I didn't think that there were a lot of. What about in the department store?
a little bit in the store,
Yeah.
and then a little bit in her house.
Yeah.
Very understated.
Exactly. I was going to say that, very understated, just a little to let you know. And they didn't even really talk much about it. They talked about the shoppers coming to the department store, right?
Mhm.
But they didn't really say, normally it's like preparing for the holidays, right? There was none of that.
yeah, we skipped by Christmas, remember? It's like-
Yes.
They missed an
It's
opportunity
like, oh,
too.
it's New Year's?
True.
Like,
That
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did Christmas happen?
yeah.
she was traveling.
Especially since, I guess it's called Last Holiday. So it's not really, it is set during the holidays, but it's like more like her last vacation because she's dying.
Correct.
But like, yeah, we didn't see a Christmas day.
They missed a chance they kept showing the streetcars. And if you go to New Orleans around that time, there are wreaths on the front of the streetcars.
Yeah, it was
Missed
one
that
of my
opportunity.
favorite things. Yeah,
And they
it's so
could have
pretty.
done that even if they filmed it in the summer. They could have done it for the movie.
Yeah.
Especially when you got 45 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
We didn't see any mistletoe or Santa or reindeer, any of that. The only thing we did see was snow.
Lots of snow.
Lots of snow. Yes.
I think some of it was real too. What do you think?
Yeah, probably in
Yeah, I think so.
Austria.
Yeah, I think so.
What about when they're in front of the hotel And there's snow everywhere. Do we feel like that was real?
I'm trying to picture the scene you're talking about.
Like when they were up on the ledge.
Oh, on what, the very end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
What about like the avalanche that we saw and the Sean Williams, the character played by LL Cool J, when he was trying to get to Georgia, they was climbing through the snow.
That was real.
Okay, yeah, that looked very real.
Oh, when his lights were up to the knees?
Yeah.
Yeah, unless that was $10 million of budget.
Exactly.
A lot of fake
It
snow.
was nice powder. I was thinking that when I was saying that. I'm like, ooh, that's nice powder.
All right. Well, let's go on to the cast and actors. So we have Queen Latifah, as we've said. Her character's name is Georgia Bird. Her real name is Dana Owens. She's a rapper, and she was mainly the star of Living Singles, a 90s sitcom on Fox. She also played Maya Morton in the 2002 movie musical Chicago. There, she was nominated for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. So, how did she do in this film? What do you think?
I liked her. I thought she was really nice. I mean, well, I don't think I was blown away, but I really liked her. She's a likable character.
I'm going to give her a little bit more credit than that. I thought it was pretty impressive. She went from a really dowdy, kind of believable character working in a department store, kind of down on her luck, not living her best life, and transitioned to an over the top, gregarious, outgoing, full of life character. And I think she did both well.
It was fair.
And which part do you think was harder for her to play? Downtrodden or
Probably down.
outgoing?
I think in real life she's probably experienced both. I mean, I think that's why it was believable.
Right.
Sure.
I agree. I think she did a good job, and I felt like you could relate her to the character. It seemed like it was legit, not just her playing the character. So
Oh, really?
I felt like it sucked you in, to her character.
And then we have Sean Williams, played by LL Cool J. His real name is James Todd Smith, and he was also a rapper and has appeared in over 20 films and on over 50 TV shows, including a lot of success with a 14-plus year run on NCIS. He also had 5 #1 albums and 2 #1 singles on the R&B charts. So what do we think of LL Cool J? Did we know him before this movie? And how did he do?
I found him very likable. I liked him.
I did know him before this. I didn't realize that NCIS stint because I have never watched that show, but I think he's a really good actor. He's got cute dimples. I think he's charming. I think he did a good job. I didn't find him as compelling of an actor as I did Queen Latifah as Georgia.
Yeah, I agree. I think, well, she's probably been in more and maybe has had a little more experience. I think. I don't know. I don't think I recall seeing him in anything else before. So I think this is my first experience seeing him acting, but he was charming and that was kind of his role. Maybe I wanted him to be nothing on him. It was the character maybe that I wanted him to be a little more outgoing and a little more forward with Georgia.
Well, they also didn't do much developing of his character, I feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he wasn't a very big part at all. So
Right.
you didn't have much time to really connect with him, but I thought it was cute.
True.
Okay. And then we have Matthew Cragen, played by Timothy Hutton. He won the 1980 Best Supporting Actor Oscar for Ordinary People. And I remember him from my childhood from Taps. Do you all remember that movie, Taps, at all?
Oh, gosh.
It's a guy movie. Okay. It'll be in a different countdown that we're doing, I promise. I loved it.
Yeah, no, I'm familiar with Taps. I thought he was in, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's had Taps was in 1980. So think of the longevity.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember if he was in those famous 1980s movies. Oh my gosh.
The Molly Ringwald movies?
Yes.
He was in one called The Falcon and the Snowman. It was about a
I
spy
saw
movie.
that.
No,
That's probably his other big role. And then there's a movie called Joe Dirt. Have y'all heard of Joe Dirt?
Mm-mm.
Another 80s movie. I just remember the title.
Yeah.
Never saw it. How do you do here? Did you like him?
Oh, I hated him, which is what his point was, right? So I think he did a great job because you really disliked him.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. He was very believable. You loved to hate him. Yeah, he did a great job. So arrogant.
Oh yeah, would do whatever he needed to do to step over anyone.
Yeah, it's kind of the classic character, the rich man who steps on anyone to get what he wants and doesn't think of the little people. And even when his character found out that she was just the salesperson from his company, then he didn't want to look at her as of any value to him.
Oh yeah,
So he played that character well.
yeah. He could beady-eyed himself when he needed to.
Yeah.
I felt like drop the sparkle and just kind of go into that role. And then we just have a few others who are more of cameo roles. Although Gerard Depardieu as Chef Didier, he was in actually more than I thought he would be. I remembered him from Green Card.
Mm-hmm.
That actress was named Andy McDowell,
Yeah.
and that was a big hit.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
And you all remembered him from Cyrano? Cyrano.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you know about him? Oh, actually, we heard he's problematic too in his personal life.
Yeah, I thought he was okay. He had a very small role.
Yeah.
For what his role was, I think he did it fine.
Yeah, I mean, I thought was a great chef. Like, I thought and I loved how engaged he was with George's character and how he didn't actually buy into all the rich people and at the resort. He was more interested in somebody who loved his food and engaged with her and didn't care what everybody assumed her status was high, but I actually appreciated his role. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, never trust a skinny chef. And
That's very valid.
I thought it was good.
I like how his character played like he didn't want them to substitute or change his ingredients and I think that's probably a true feeling to most chefs.
Definitely a pet peeve.
Right. Keep it the way they want. They created it, right?
They work hard on those recipes. All right, we also have cameos by Smokey Robinson singing, and we had Emerald at the very end. You all ever been to Emerald's?
So I have a funny story about emeralds. Yes. When I was in med school, my friend Kathy was obsessed with learning to cook, and he just opened his restaurant, and he was just getting started, and she would sit at the bar and he would like have her try things. And yeah, and she loved it, and she was obsessed with his cooking, and so she bought his cookbook. It's intense, his cooking. Anyway, it was great, and she would like make the food, go home and make it, and feed it to me. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an awesome story.
I know. Unfortunately, I didn't have the appreciation that she did, and he wasn't a big name back then, so
Right.
I didn't go with her, but he became huge.
Yeah.
Okay, and then any other characters stand out? We had a few other minor characters. The help at the hotel. We had the co-workers at the department store. Little boy was pretty good. I
And
thought.
Gunter.
Gunter. It was kind of international there, right? They had a German and they had a French chef, and looked like a great place. I mean, we really didn't talk too much about the hotel.
What was the redheaded girl's name? The fair.
The woman, Timothy Hutton's character, Matthew Cragen, was having an affair with his associate or whatever.
Yeah, that one.
With red hair. Yeah, I don't know what her name was.
I liked her.
Yeah.
She was Miss Burns. They never said her first name.
Okay.
And because she left him at the end, yeah.
She did a good job. What did y'all think about the guy at the department store whose phone she smashed?
Oh.
Mr. Adamian? Mr. Adamian.
Yeah, over the top, funny. I like this bone chat smashing.
Thought it was really funny because it's circa 2006, right? So it was like a little flip phone. And at the end of the movie, in the highlights, they said, oh, he died because he was walking across the street with his cell phone. And I'm like, okay, we all do that today. Like at that time, like scrolling on your phone while walking, they made a point of it. And I thought it was funny because I'm like, oh, we're all looking at our phone all the time today. 20 years later.
True.
Never ended.
Mm-hmm.
iPhone came out in 2007, the year after this film. The rest is history.
Mm-hmm.
So it dates it a little bit. We talk about that all the time. When you put a phone in your film, it definitely instantly dates it.
Dates it.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
No, but I thought it was funny considering that it's coming up on 20 years old. I do think the film stood the test of time. Like it's still, I mean, I watched a horrible holiday movie last night called, I think it's Hot Frosty. And this was much better.
Good. Good. I'm glad we don't have these late comers that would have busted in this countdown after we're midstream here. We don't need that. We pretend like they don't exist.
Into scenes.
Yes.
All right, so I have a question about a scene. This early on when she's walking home from her day at the department store, and she's walking up to her house, and the car, that brown car is there, which the same brown car had kind of pulled up beside her as she was walking, I think. Remember?
Oh, but
And
the
they
people
yell-
like yelling
Yeah.
out the window.
Yeah. But then it's parked and she walks up and she's like polishing it or rubbing it with the rag. Like what was that about?
Huh.
I think it was a car she couldn't afford to drive.
Oh, but she admired it maybe?
It was just her car, but she couldn't afford to drive it. That was but
Yeah, but someone else was driving it, weren't they?
I thought the other car was blue.
Oh, it was a different car.
I think that was a different car. I thought they were kind of catcalling her.
they were.
Right, I thought so too.
And my impression with the little boy who lived next door,
Mhm.
when she said, was everything okay with the car? That's what she said when she walked up, and he said, yeah, it was fine. A few gunshots, but the car's okay.
Right,
I think that's part of it, is his role is to kind of watch out for
the car.
the car and her house while she's gone or whatever.
Okay, so it's just another thing, another nice thing that I have, but I'm not going to use it.
Yeah, sort of like she's not living her life to the fullest. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was weird, her walking up, polishing it, but yet you have a car parked at your house, but you're not you're walking, right?
You got to put gas in it and pay for downtown parking.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Sally?
Yep.
All right, well, that explains that, I guess. I think one of the best scenes is when she walks into the boutique and wants to, I guess, buy a new wardrobe to fit into her new lifestyle of appreciation of the finer things, and tells them to make me look international. It was a little bit of the Pretty Woman scene where they were a little rude to her at first when she's walking in with her common everyday clothes, and the lady responds, "That'll be hard," or I can't remember exactly what she responds, but she was
Like, we can
catty.
try to make it happen, or we can try.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
a little catty, to that effect. But then, you see her almost like playing in the clothes like a little girl would in dress up clothes. When she ends up getting them, but through the different outfits. And I thought, it's kind of every woman's dream, right? Go get a new wardrobe and not worry about what it costs,
Yeah.
what you're buying.
It would make shopping a lot more fun.
Right? Yes.
I will say, I thought some of it might be unrealistic when we heard her salary at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't know how many bonds her mom left or grandmother left her, but if she was making $29,000 a year,
Mm-hmm.
and the presidential suite was $4,000 a night, and that wardrobe was not cheap. So
Yeah.
I was having a hard time with the math.
I know, I was thinking that too. And even when, we kind of talked about it when the banker handed over, we don't know if it was cash or traveler's checks or what it was, but it didn't look like all that much. I don't know what kind of,
No,
what bills they were, but if it was cash, or maybe it was just traveler's checks made out, but
she did make $100,000 in the casino.
that is true. That helped her stay a little extra, right? Another
thing.
day at the spa.
Good thing due to the end of the movie, right?
Yeah.
That extra 100 would come in handy
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the way it turned out.
Yeah.
All right. Any other favorite scenes? Anything catch your eye?
I really loved when she was on the plane and the big man was in front of her and he was trying to push his chair back and she had her knees up and the stewardess went over and said, you know, are you being difficult? And she's like, no. And the guy, then the male steward came up and said, we should have gotten a first class ticket. And she's like, okay, sign me up. I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. What does it cost? I'm just going to upgrade me right now.
Yeah, she said, how much for the damn cocoon?
Yeah, how much for the damn
I wrote that down.
Ma'am, had you chosen to fly first class instead of economy, you would have had plenty of room in one of our cocoons. How much is it? Beg your pardon? How much for the damn cocoon?
Have you seen the new cocoons, by the way?
Yes, I was in
Yes.
one like 2 weeks ago.
I mean,
You were?
Yeah, when I went, yeah.
Nice.
I spoiled myself when I went to Europe.
is there something we should know?
Okay,
never mind.
I've got 3 weeks.
Okay.
Well, I felt like when they were doing the gambling scene and she kept saying number 17, you know, and she kept winning. I'm like, this seems, you know, that seems so fake to me. What was it, 3 or 4 times?
Someone's got to calculate those odds.
She bet on number 17, black 17, and it won three to four
times,
three to
yeah.
4 times, right?
But isn't that 36 to 1? I mean, that's a huge payout.
I think it is 36 to 1, some number in the 30s.
Yeah. But I mean, she made a ton of money there.
I thought this was just odd. The CAT scan machine in a department store, they had a clinic in the department store, but it was significant enough to have its own CAT scan machine.
I thought that was very odd too.
Well, it
First of
wasn't
all.
very good.
Well, they did highlight that it was used.
Yes.
It
It was
was
a
used.
used cat. Yeah. I think for really big companies. I mean, how big would you be? Nobody
I
would
don't
have.
know that any company has a CAT scan machine.
I know.
I kept waiting for them to say, well, there was another film we watched, one of the Batman Returns, where there was a conglomerate. So they were in every business. This guy was retail. And so when you're in retail, the locations are scattered. So you wouldn't have all your people coming to a central location to use your CAT scan machine.
Well, they did call it the Cragen Clinic. So his character was Matthew Cragen at the Cragen department store, and it was called the Cragen Clinic.
So maybe that was a side hustle.
I love that.
I don't know.
I thought it was kind of sad when she, at the beginning of the movie, she was cooking a recipe and she served it all to the little boy. And he's like, aren't you going to have some? This is delicious. And she goes, no, I only eat lean cuisines. And remember when she said that?
Yeah.
And I was like, what? You just made this fancy meal. And then it was like she was making part of it for, what did she say, the dad or the grandpa, for him to take back home, and he was eating it there. At that point, I was trying to figure out, wait, is it because she didn't want to eat it because it was too fattening? I couldn't tell because she goes, I only eat lean cuisines, or maybe she thought it was too good for her to eat.
I think it was because she had also said in a different part when they said she had 3 weeks to live. She said, I just went on she didn't call it a fat cleanse, but
Yeah, she did say something about a cleanse.
yeah,
So maybe that was,
yeah,
it was a diet she was on.
Yeah. I think she was trying to eat health, like low calorie.
Gotcha.
Who was the little boy? Was it just her neighbor? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, not related.
Didn't get that impression because she had that sister who had 3 kids further away.
I think the funniest scene that I recall, there were some good funny scenes, was when she's talking about that stainless steel grill, and then the next thing you know, they show her lugging it up her stairs.
Yeah, that was funny. That was the one part I laughed out loud. Yeah. It's like you just bought a grill.
Yeah.
It harkens back to Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I think, where he likes the girl in the photo booth, and he just keeps getting all these pictures developed the whole summer. I think that was Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay,
Anyway.
yeah.
I can't remember. The only thing I remember from that.
I remember odd stuff like that.
Yeah, I can fix it. My dad's got an awesome set of tools.
Oh, yeah.
Well, going back to the scene where she was in the boutique shopping and she was all dressed up, and then she said, "Do you think anyone will call me ma'am in this?" What? Do you find it offensive if people call you ma'am?
Our mother hated it.
Okay.
It's so funny. You don't remember that when we moved from England. Well, I think when we moved from upstate New York to New Orleans, everybody calls you ma'am.
Right.
And my mom, I remember her saying out loud, "That makes me feel so old. Please don't call me ma'am."
Okay.
You know, and it's just a very Southern thing. Like here, I don't think anything of it.
Right.
But, you know, upstate New York, people wouldn't say ma'am to everything.
And I don't think you hear it in England, which is where our parents were from. So
So it's an age thing.
Yeah, and I
And,
feel
and
it.
regional.
People
age
all
and
call me ma'am, and I don't love it either. I mean,
Am I going to have to call the air marshal, ma'am?
People been calling me ma'am a lot lately. And, I'm hardly older than you. Do people call you ma'am?
No, ma'am. No, they don't.
doesn't bother me. But I also call, like, I'm much more careful now. I don't say it. But yeah, I've been burned when I like they've just been checking out, and I'm like, "Thank you so much, ma'am." And I look up, I'm like, "Sir."
Okay. So yeah, I guess it could insinuate that you're older than what
Yeah.
you really are, and
Yeah.
that's what she was insinuating too.
I think so. She
That,
thought that
like-
outfit made her look younger.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She just didn't like being called ma'am. Yeah, wanted to be viewed as younger.
Right. And before she started living her best life, she was dressed pretty understated and hair in a bun and no makeup and
Dowdy.
yeah,
Mhm.
kind of. Exactly. That's a good word.
Which was really cute that LL Cool J's character still, I mean, adored her,
Mm-hmm.
you know, even when she was dowdy.
True.
Are we done with the scenes?
I don't think so.
I think so. I'm trying to see my notes. I don't see anything else.
I mean, the only other scene that we didn't talk about is, I mean, we touched on it a little bit when we were talking about the snow, but was when Kragan was standing on the ledge and then everybody started coming out on the ledge. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
bizarre. What do we think about how the movie finished?
Just how I wanted it to. I'm a sucker for a good, happy ending, so I'm always happy when it all works out well.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them walking down the aisle.
Oh, yeah.
Like in
You
her,
know what I
like
want?
her book, you know.
Mhm.
I wanted to see them go to the basketball game.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
Mhm. And I bet they filmed that. So at some point in the movie, LL Cool J's character asked her out on a date and offered her tickets to a basketball game. And she couldn't commit to it because she knew she was dying. So I just felt like that they should have gone back to that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice ending.
I bet they filmed it and they had to put it on the cutting room floor.
You think?
good chance.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
That's in the 45 million.
It was not. It was not a short movie.
Oh, how long was it?
I don't. Let me see.
Sorry, putting you on the spot.
That's okay. We've got it here. It was 1 hour and 52 minutes. That's pretty long for a rom-comish
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Yeah.
yeah, that would have been a good circle back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Because they even showed the ticket in the hotel. Like she had arranged her items and it was on a picture frame or a mirror or something. She
Yeah.
had it up there where you could see.
They'll get their chance to go to one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
It's the New Orleans Pelicans now. It was the Hornets back then. Just FYI. So, quotable lines. Does anyone have any quotable lines? Anything in particular that was said that you want to bring back?
You mentioned one.
Yeah, you did. There was something I
The
liked.
sign me up for the cocoon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How much for the damn cocoon?
Yeah, in the first class. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I liked when they said, "We know the secret to life, butter."
That was pretty clever. And then what about, has that ceiling ever made you cry?
Oh yeah.
I only said that because they repeated it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the moral of the story is very obvious, and it's played over and over about living life to the fullest. Don't take things for granted.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, definitely that was in there. Any other? Live Like You're Dying.
Yeah.
It's almost in the title. You
Right.
know,
Last Holiday.
go for it. All right. Do we have any hot takes here?
I have a hot take.
All right. What is it?
Bring back the rom-com. I mean, there's no more rom-coms in the movie theater, and every time you hear like the movie industry talk about it, it's like a dying, that they're not putting comedies out there. They're not really doing rom-coms it's it's all the drama and the superhero movies, and I love a good rom-com.
Me too.
Yeah.
You're right. There hasn't been any.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if you saw a trailer like the one we saw today for this film,
No, I would not go to the theater for it. Is that what you were going to ask me?
no.
Oh, sorry, cut
If,
you off.
if you saw that trailer flipping through Netflix, it would probably get you. Does Netflix even create rom-coms?
Yes,
They do.
they're straight to stream now.
Okay.
Rom-coms still get created, but they're straight to stream. They don't get into the movie theaters. I think the only one that got into the movie theater recently was the Colin Powell one with the pretty blonde Sydney something.
Okay. I know Sydney.
Yeah, I know.
We saw her.
We saw her.
It's with an S, right?
Sweeney.
Sweeney.
Sydney
Yeah,
Sweeney.
there you go.
Sydney Sweeney. But that's the only rom-com I can think of in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do you have any hot takes?
I don't really have one for this film.
Okay. I have a couple.
You always do.
First one is you don't give snowboard lessons on a black diamond trail, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
That's standard protocol, I would think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe she just couldn't turn off, so she got on a black trail by mistake.
Yeah. No, you start on a green. Okay, I agreed with that. I thought that was unrealistic.
A little bunny slope at the bottom, not the very top of the mountain. But,
Yeah, when you first learn, yeah.
but it made it
sure.
exciting. A little Christmas vacation down the hill action.
Yeah.
And then this one may be a reach because the film is a remake of a 1950s film. But I feel like it was partly 9/11 inspired because after 9/11, there were people who were getting engaged, buying things they couldn't afford. It was like the world was coming to an end. And for like a month there was this rash of the world might end and people taking these chances. And so I thought, well, maybe someone thought we could inject that in a film and then found this film. But again, it's a bit of a reach.
Yeah.
I mean, some movies are more conducive to hot takes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I have a feeling, honestly, as we go along, the movies are getting better and it's going to be harder and harder to get them.
I know. I agree.
Those bottom 5, it was easy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I'll go over the parent guide then. So it's PG-13, and I'm trying to think why.
Why it's there.
Why is it PG-13
Is
and
that
not
just cursing
PG?
or something?
A little cursing, a little sexual reference. No action, just comments.
Oh,
Our
the
middle
one-
school level.
The one where he was leering at her, and the scene where he was like, she was knocked out and she was picturing.
Oh.
And she was,
That
yes,
was
she was
probably-
dreaming. Yeah,
Yes.
and he's like
Mm-hmm.
making the facial expression.
Yeah, and the comments in the spa about the neck, her sore neck, and that.
Oh,
that
yeah,
could,
yeah, yeah.
to the right middle schooler, they'll pick up on that.
I will say
Yeah,
everything on Netflix is 10 times more inappropriate today. So,
I know.
yeah. But
You can even see stuff just on regular TV
Mhm.
that's more than I felt like this movie. I kind of felt like, well, and the cursing, I don't really remember a lot of cursing.
It was like curtailed cursing. They would start to curse and then they would stop.
yeah, I remember the little boy almost said something and she
She
said,
said, if you're going to use
use
that,
that language. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just played it safe, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I
conservative.
kind of feel like it could be PG. And some of that stuff, if you're watching it with little kids that you're like, whoa, it would go right over their head
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah, I
And
thought it's pretty tame.
And,
And you'd watch it with your parents comfortably.
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the soundtrack. Not much to it here. Not any specific Christmas songs at all. Maybe our first like
Did we
that.
have any Christmas music?
No, they did not spend their $45 million on music.
I don't remember
Yeah.
any music.
Mm-mm.
Well, what was the concert? We went to a concert, right?
So we have a part where Queen Latifah is singing "Why Me" in church,
Mhm.
and so that was
Oh, the gospel
Music.
scene.
Yeah.
yeah. And then we have another similar live scene where Smokey Robinson is singing
That's what I was thinking.
"Tracks
Mhm.
of My Tears" was the
Yeah.
name of that song. I had to look it up, but it was familiar, but I didn't know the name of it.
Right.
And that's about the extent of the soundtrack. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe 5 or 6 songs the whole film. So nothing too notable.
Mm-mm.
Nope, not really. All right. Well, Sally, if you had to rate this from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, what would you rate it and why?
And remember, it's 3.5 in Letterboxd, and so we do decimals.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 3.5. I think I agree with Letterbox. I feel like they could have done more. Now Anne's pointed out this whole basketball ticket. I wish they'd gone back to the basketball game. But I enjoyed it. It was a nice rom-com. It was definitely an enjoyable movie. But I think 10 years from now, will I remember it? Probably not.
Right.
Unless you re-listen to this.
Yeah.
I would probably give it just like a smidge higher, like a 3.7, because like I enjoyed the whole movie. I thought it was well acted. I thought it was charming. It made me happy. It made me feel like, gosh, I should kind of fly first class more. So I liked the, the point of the story. I thought it was good, charming, well done.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a 3.75.
Oh, wow. We haven't had that yet.
Only because I liked it too. I liked the story of it, and I'm a sucker for a good love story as well. I was pleasantly surprised when I watched it. I mean, starting out, I guess maybe it's because I didn't have any real expectations, but after I saw it, I did really enjoy it. It's not a movie that I think I would watch every year. That's in our Christmas list, but maybe, I don't know, every 3 years or something. When I'm looking for a holiday film, I might come back to it. But it was good for, the first time.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and agree with Sally and everyone else. 3.5. I thought it was well made. I think it will age okay. I feel like an hour and 52 minutes is a little long for this type of film, and it will lose some interest for some folks along the way. But I like the characters and the way they put it together, and I like New Orleans.
Yeah. Would you recommend this movie? To whom and why would you recommend it, Sally?
I think I'd recommend it for a girls' night. I mean, I know there's a guy here. I'm just saying, we tend to like the rom-coms more. Yeah, I think I'd recommend it if it's a nice movie.
How about you, Anne?
I would definitely recommend it for somebody who's just wanting sort of like a lighthearted rom-com, or like going on a long trip and wanting to download something. Yeah, I would recommend it. I would not probably rewatch it. It's a little bit of a one and done for me, but I really enjoyed it. I'm also not a big rewatcher.
Same,
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I don't rewatch movies, so
Okay.
that's it.
except for Elf.
Yeah, I don't want to rewatch movies. Now, that's
Tim's
not
like,
true.
wow. I know.
Yeah.
Because
Okay,
Tim will rewatch
rewatch.
over and over.
So I will say I do rewatch because I have forgotten I've watched, and then I'm like, oh, I know the ending because I have a really bad memory.
do you have a single title in this world that is your official rewatch?
Nope.
Wow.
Breakfast Club. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll watch that over and over again.
I would rewatch that probably, or E.T.
Okay.
Does that count? E.T.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Okay.
All right. That's a good answer.
Well, I think it might be fun for a date night or a girls' night. I don't think it's really a real rewatchable film either, but I would recommend it to someone who hasn't seen it before.
Okay. And I know some folks who are really into the cooking shows and the Food Network and Top Chef and all that. And I'm like, this may be your Christmas movie or your holiday film. Not really Christmas, your holiday film. So I think of that as someone I would recommend it to. And of course, the same folks that you all mentioned.
Yeah.
That's a good point, though. To anybody, because of some of those meals, like at some point in the movie, as we were watching, I was like, I'm getting hungry because they looked so good.
I know, it did. Well, Sally, what is your favorite holiday film?
Elf. Sorry, I said that earlier. I love Elf.
That's okay.
How many times have you
I've
seen
seen
it?
it a lot. It's like our family holiday film. Yeah.
At least 15.
Probably less than that. Probably like 8. But
Okay.
this is from somebody that doesn't like to rewatch things, so that's actually impressive.
Wow.
Right.
And you, Ann, what's your favorite holiday film?
Home Alone 2, and I have watched it multiple times.
Home Alone?
Yeah, isn't it Home? Oh, yeah, Home Alone. Yeah, I like Home Alone 1 versus Home Alone 2. But I like both of them. I'd watch them both.
Okay.
Yeah,
You watch them both more than once?
I have watched them both more than
Okay.
once because that's like when you introduce your kids to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Jamie?
Well, it's coming up.
Oh, sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, never mind.
It's coming up. I'll let you know.
Stay tuned.
That's right. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining this discussion of our 36th ranked film, Last Holiday. Please like, follow, and comment on this podcast.
Yes, please share and spread the word about Holiday Film Countdown. Thank you, Sally and Ann, for joining us. And thanks to all of our listeners. Next week, we're moving on to our 35th ranked holiday film,
which will take us to Budapest, Hungary.